This is Randall Root, and in this video we'll take a look at working with projects, solutions, and code files in Visual Studio. In Visual Studio, you can open it up, and at first it can be quite intimidating because there's just a lot of options, and not many of them actually appear as simple ones. But the place to get started would be going up to File and making a brand new project. Now, it's a little confusing because you're usually working with solutions. And let me explain that. When you make a new project, you can choose between anything that you have installed as a set of templates. If you've installed, like I have here, Ultimate, you'll have a number of different choices, including many different languages. But you could have actually just installed maybe the Business Intelligence Development Studio, or perhaps just C#, etc., and it'll limit what templates you have. The reason for this is that Visual Studio is actually a shell that you put plugins into, these add-on features. It's like putting a plugin in your browser. The plugin for Business Intelligence comes with Microsoft SQL Server. Visual Studio typically comes, Visual C# typically comes with a install of the standard Visual Studio. That's a common thing, but you can also buy it separately. You can buy just the C# alone. Other languages would include Microsoft's Visual Basic. This would be Visual Basic.NET, C++, and SQL Data Tools, and F#, etc. It really all depends on your templates that get installed as part of the plugin. Over the years, Microsoft has had a number of frameworks. Each framework can have a set of different templates. So when you first start up, you can choose between the different templates. Usually choosing the more recent one is probably what you want, but it's not always true. Sometimes you're working for a customer or on a contract, and they're using an older framework, so it's best to keep that in mind. Next, you can actually go through and just select a empty or blank solution. And when you do, at this point it'll go ahead and create a solution file for you. Now the solution doesn't look like much. I'll hit the save button. But actually on the hard drive there will be a solution file and a solution user options file. So this is the solution file, this is the user option files, and you'll notice it's under My Documents, whatever version of Visual Studio you have. Like I have several different versions. And then there'll be a folder called Projects. And then whatever project you're working on. This was Solution 1. Now the way it works is a solution is a collection of 0 or more projects. You can have just files in there, but there actually are typically projects. So we will add one now. And here we see the same templates we saw before. If you would have chosen to create a template, like maybe the Windows Form Application template, it would have actually created a solution as well. So projects are grouped by solutions. People usually learn how to make the projects and they kind of forget about the solution. Microsoft at one point decided that they really didn't need to know about the solution, and so because it was kind of invisible in the background, if you go to Tools and Options, there is a section here for always showing the solution, or if it's unchecked, not. And it's if it's unchecked, you won't see that the solution file exists, but it still does. It's not like it's gone away. It's still there. It's just that it's not showing up in Solution Explorer, which I think is kind of ironic, but okay. If I right-click and look at the folder, I can see that the new project created a bunch of code files. These are just code files. They're just little text files. The text files are sometimes in, have like C# or they may have some other code that's unique to Visual Studio. But it'll be associated with whatever template you're working with. A lot of times they're XML files. There's some other folders as well. But if I go up a level, I'll see that all the project files or code files are contained in that folder. The folder, of course, has the name of the project. A solution file is what binds the project together. So if you have more than one project, the solution file will track that. You can kind of see this if I go through and open it up with like Notepad. Let's see, I want to use Notepad. Let me open that real fast. I'll drag it in. Right now we don't see any link. I'm going to go back to Visual Studio. I'm going to hit the Save All button. And we're going to come back and we're going to look at this again. Let's see if we see anything different this time. Let's see, where'd you go? Right there. Now we see the difference. What's happened is that it's gone through and it's included a project. And it indicates where the project file is at. Now the project file actually can be moved to a different location, and in some cases this will happen. Let me go ahead and turn on the solution icon so we can actually see it's still there. I don't prefer to have it hidden like this. I just wanted to show how it was possible. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and save my work again. And I'm going to go ahead and remove this project. Now it'll be removed, but it won't be deleted. So now the project actually can be placed in a different spot. Now, I am not entirely convinced that this is a real good idea, but just to show it could be done, I'll go ahead and put it someplace else. Right now it's out in the general projects. I'll go back into solution, and if I were to close Visual Studio down now and try to reopen that solution file, it would not know where that project was at. But then again, I have removed the project from the solution, and as such, if I go and look at that, let me open up Notepad again. That looks like I must have closed it. If I go and look at that solution file, the project reference, oh, it looks like it's still there. I need to hit Save All, and then we'll try it again. And now it's gone. So I'll then go through and just add the solution. I'll add add to the solution. We'll add an existing project. We're going to see here, projects, and we're looking for Windows application. We'll highlight the project file, and now it's back. Hit the Save All again, and let's go look at that solution file. And you'll notice that the project's been recorded, and it also has a relative path to where it's at. So a solution file tracks the collection of one or more projects. And if I had more than one project, they would show up in here. Now look, and the, let's see here. Let me show. Okay, so now that solutions, that project folder is gone, and my solution actually still references it because it's a different folder. In fact, you can actually see the folder down here. If I had another project, the default location is to put it right next to the solution in its own little folder. As you can see, they're in different locations, but that's all right. What happens is that text file gets updated, and we'll have the location there. In each of these projects, you have one or more code files. Like I said, sometimes the code file is an XML document, sometimes it is a C# document, sometimes it's a SQL document, but you know, they're all code files. And they have fancy colors when you look at it like this, but if I were to just go through and drag and drop it into Notepad, we'll see that, yeah, they have fancy colors when they're in the environment, design environment, but they really are just text files. Some are fancy text files like XML, but they're still text files. So the synopsis of this is that a solution, Visual Studio solution, is a collection of one or more projects, and a project is a collection of one or more code files. And the organization there is to make it really easy to group your code files into projects and work with them collectively. You don't have to start with a template, but making use of a template is kind of handy because it'll put the common type of code files you would like to use for that particular type of project. It is possible to go through and create your own blank project, but most of the time you're going to choose an existing template to start off with. And that way it'll configure things for you so you don't have to, such as, you know, various different property settings, etc. Anyway, I hope that helps your understanding of what Visual Studio is and what a solution is, what a project is, and how the project is used to group various different code files. Thanks for watching.